So in this section, we're going to look at photographing and filming places. Now we've come to Dubai, which is a great contrast between traditional and modern. We have the world's tallest building here in Dubai, and we also have these wonderfully traditional dhow boats, which haven't changed in hundreds of years. These boats come in from India and from Pakistan to trade their wares with the Arab nations and to take goods out back to those locations. And there's a great opportunity here to film a great sense of colour. It's a great sense of atmosphere, a great sense of the place that we're in. So when you're on holiday, go down to the creek, go down to the riverside, go down to the harbour. There are always lots of interesting people, lots of interesting buildings, interesting boats to film and to photograph. And a little tip, one thing we used to do when we filmed on these travel programs that I filmed for so many years was you need to get there early or late in the afternoon. Certainly before 11 and maybe after 3, because the middle of the day, the light is just too high in the sky, it's very, very bright, it's very, very hot, and your photographs and your films just won't look very good. So shoot earlier in the morning or later in the afternoon. So let's go and show you the kind of pictures you can pick up in an area like this. A great way to really establish where you are in a place is to try and contrast in a photograph the old with the new. We've got the Burj Khalifa here, which is an 828 metre high tower. Burj is the Arabic for tower, and it's the world's tallest building. But in the foreground, you've got these traditional dhow boats, and I think it'll make a great picture just having these, the bows of the dhows and the tower in the background. So let's just have a quick look at that. I think I want to use the 18mm lens. I'm going to set my setting on the camera to the landscape setting, and I'm just going to take a few photographs. And what I'm doing is framing in such a way as that I'm not putting too much sky in, because that, if I take a picture like this, that wouldn't look very good. Equally, down too low and you miss out what's going on. Actually, going into 55 is where it really works the best. So what I'm trying to do is frame the tower with some of these bows of these dhow boats here. So we'll take a picture here, and maybe one up on the portrait. You notice I was taking that on the landscape. This one I'm going to take up on the portrait, which just somehow works a little bit better. Now, I chose to take a still photograph here because I felt a still photograph really does it justice. Shooting this on video wouldn't really make a lot of sense because there's not a lot happening that's moving in the frame. So, make your decisions about what you do in still images and what you do in movies based on what's going on around us. So let's have a wander around and see if there's some more action we can look at that can somehow work better as a movie. This is a great thing that's just happened. We've got one of the dhow ships actually leaving. Now this doesn't really work so well as a still image, but it will work really well on movie. So I'm going to set my camera to movie, use my eyepiece here, and put it into movie mode. Oh, that's great. I'm going to start on a 24mm lens, and that's it. Get that recording. Just hold the camera steady. Let the action move within the frame. I'm now going to just stop recording there. I'm going to move the camera physically around to the right because I can see the boats moving backwards. What I want to do is try and anticipate some of the action. I'm going to go to the 55mm lens here and get a close-up of the back of the boat. Hit record, hold it steady, and as you can see, the boat's moving around in the frame. And then as the boat moves off, I'm just gently moving with my hips round to the left. And I want to stop the frame there. Works better there actually. Don't be afraid to move the camera, there we go. Hold down in the front, one at the back. It's moving off out of frame. And we just leave that running. What you'll see is as the boat leaves frame, the Burj Khalifa is in the back of shot. And then we cut there. that was a great situation where video works better than stills because the boat's actually moving in frame. And there's another shot here actually, if I just zoom through on the 55mm lens and bring all these boxes into the foreground and just hit record again, we've got another interesting shot there. Now the key in these kind of shots is to get the camera steady and just hold your breath and count to 5. And cut there, because what that does is it stops you breathing, and because when you breathe you move up and down, it puts a bit of movement into the camera. Now I think that will also make quite a nice still image. So move my setting back to the landscape setting, zoom right in and take an image. So this will come with practice, but filming is one of these things that you need to just move slightly with from shot to shot, and we'll cover that in a lot more detail in the filming section. Now this is a classic holiday shot. You've got the sun beating down on the water, reflecting back up onto this dhow boat here. And this works really well as a still. Let's just show you. On the landscape setting on the camera, just bring myself down. There's no harm in actually adjusting the position you stand or sit at to take a picture, because up here is kind of where we see everything from. And if you go down low, you just get a slightly different perspective. We'll just take a photograph there. Now that works quite well as a still, but let's put it back into video mode. And because the image is moving, put our loop on the back. We not only get video, but we also get sound. So let's just do a shot of that now. And do a tighter shot. Look, I'm resting my elbow on my knee. I'm holding the camera very steady. I'm not moving it around. I'm just letting the boat bob up and down in shot. And just roll that shot for 5 or 10 seconds. You see the lights reflections are dancing around the wood. And we'll cut that there. So the key when you're doing any sort of video, especially when you're establishing a place, is to kind of just hold the camera steady. Think of it like a postcard. If you were to take one image that would represent where you are, what would that image be? Sometimes when you're out shooting places, for example, you see something that you just catches your eye. I've seen something here. I'm going to turn my camera back into video mode and put on the eyepiece. Now what we've managed to do is have a few smiles back and forward with the guys on this boat. And that's sometimes a great way to just introduce the idea of maybe taking a picture or doing some video. What I want to start doing is shooting the water coming out of here and then pan the camera up to these guys. So I'm going to just go into record mode. I'm on the 18mm lens. I'm starting to record now. And I'm going to move the camera up to these guys and see if they don't mind having their picture taken. So they're happy, so I'm going to go into the 55mm lens now and do a close-up shot of them. Again, keep the camera very steady. Shukran. So when you're in a foreign country, find out the words for thank you. These guys are from Iran, they're really friendly, we've just taken the picture, so you say shukran, they appreciate that. I'm just now going to go back into stills mode, because they've essentially given us their permission to film them. Go back into the picture, the portrait mode, go into the 55mm lens and try and get some close-ups. There's a guy got a really aged face, which I think will make a great picture. So let's come back over here. And there we go. So sometimes the most unopportune moments present themselves with a great photo opportunity. You get that picture that just really represents the people here. They're really friendly guys, they're about to go off to Iran, so that was a great result. So what I do here is go back to the 18mm lens and get all these guys watching. This guy's washing, so let's get a shot up here. Shukran.
Thank you.
Have a safe trip. That's a great thing, you know, when you're out photographing and filming like this. I mean, I'm sweating, I could do with a drink of water, but we've got some great images there. And those are the images that will just remind of us being down here at the port. I think Michael Palin filmed Around the World in 80 Days here, and he got on one of these dhows and went, I think, to either India or Pakistan on one of these boats just like this. So this is the kind of thing, it's like part of the adventure, you know, you're seeing things as they happen. And these guys are from Iran, and you just build up a bit of a rapport with them, a bit of a smile, nothing more complex than that, and you get a bit of a laugh going with them. They ask you a few questions, and you take some pictures in between, and you get some really great images.